Hello everybody, welcome to iExamBee's Legal Bee. This is Amrita, your law faculty here at iExamBee. Embrace the iExamBee learning experience with us. If you're preparing for any competitive examinations after your law, then you're at the right place. At iExamBee, we provide you coaching in online mode for various competitive examinations after your law, like SEBI Grade A Legal Officer Exam, RBI Grade B Legal Officer Examination, IBPS SO Law Officer, IBPS RRB Law Officer, etc. So do check out the demos of all these courses as well. Prepare 50% faster with us at iExamBee. Download our app for 50% faster job preparation. कोई भी queries हो, you can write to us an email on hello@iexambee.com. Call us on this number 9205524028 and don't forget to subscribe to Legal Bee. On Legal Bee, we keep on providing you various videos which are beneficial for your exam preparation. Similarly, this ongoing series of 300 most important MCQs which is there for SEBI Grade A Legal Officer Exam. इसके मैंने 12 parts already add किए हैं on Legal Bee. From different subjects we are discussing MCQs. This is a total of 300, out of which 13th part I am going to discuss today, which consists of administrative law, jurisprudence and interpretation of statutes related questions. First question, according to A.V. Dicey in India, rule of law is embodied in Article 21 of the Constitution of India, Article 32 of the Constitution of India, Article 14, Article 226, Article 360 of the 368 of the Constitution of India. This is a typographical error. So according to A.V. Dicey, rule of law is embodied in which article of the Constitution? Correct answer is C, Article 14. रूल ऑफ लॉ का कॉन्सेप्ट हमने आर्टिकल 14 में इनकॉर्पोरेट किया है. इट लेज डाउन लॉ इज सुप्रीम. A.V. Dicey has come up with this principle of rule of law, and in our constitution we have incorporated it under article 14 of the constitution. Which of the following functions may not be delegated? The power to extend the duration of the statutes having regard to the local conditions, power to adopt the existing statutes with the incidental changes in the name, place, etc., and to apply them to a new area without modifying the underlying policy of the statute, power to promulgate rules if such rules to be laid down before the parliament before they would come into force, power to select persons on whom the tax is to be laid, to determine the rates for different classes of goods, or to amend the schedule of exemptions. None of the above. So which of the following functions cannot be delegated has been asked over here. Correct answer is E, none of the above. All these functions cannot be delegated further. What is relating to delegated legislation? Power of delegated legislation is subjected to certain limitations that legislature cannot delegate essential legislative functions. जो essential legislative functions है, especially relating to legislative policy, उसको आप कभी भी further delegate नहीं कर सकते. Actually, delegated legislation is already originally delegated function, तो उसको further delegate करने के लिए only in non-essential functions you can do that, which are these. And जो पिछले स्लाइड में अभी जो मैंने आपको क्वेश्चन में बताए, ये सारे इंपॉर्टेंट एसेंशियल फंक्शंस है सारे ऑप्शंस में. दैट्स व्हाई द करेक्ट आंसर इज नन ऑफ द अबव हियर. You can download this PPT and check out the solution in detail and pause this video if you want to and read it all in detail, refer it and have a good revision of the concept. Administrative law is the law relating to administration. It determines the organization, powers and duties of the administrative authorities. This definition is provided by Davis, Ivor Garner, Ivor Jennings, Wade, A.V. Jennings. Theory subject है. थोड़ा बहुत इस तरीके के स्टेटमेंट बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस भी हमारे आंखों के नीचे से जाने ज़रूरी है. करेक्ट आंसर इज सी, आइवर जेनिंग्स. Administrative law is law relating to administration. Remember this point. It determines organization, power and duties of the administrative authorities. Dicey developed his theory of rule of law in his classic work Law and the Constitution, Spirit of the Laws, Constitutional Law, Law and the Spirit, Introduction to the Law of Constitution. So this rule of law theory was developed by A.V. Dicey. It was which book? Correct answer is E, Introduction to the Law of Constitution. Actually, a constitution and administrative law were part of the same law earlier. Constitution का ही part था administrative law. Later it got separated as an independent law, but still both of them are correlated to each other. Delegatus non potest delegare means delegate cannot further delegate, a delegate can further delegate, delegation is not allowed in law, Delegation is not provided to delegate. Only legislature can make a law. Very important maxim. Correct answer is A. A delegate cannot further delegate. When a subordinate legislation fails to comply with procedural requirement prescribed by the Parent Act or by a general law, it is known as substantive ultra vires, parent ultra vires, procedural ultra vires, substantive and procedural ultra vires. It is not an ultra vires law. So when we are talking about a subordinate legislation and it fails to comply with procedural requirements that are prescribed by the Parent Act or by a general law, that is known as, correct answer is C, procedural ultra vires. Procedural ultra vires का क्या मतलब होता है? Procedural ultra vires कब occur होता है? When the procedure under the enabling act has been failed to be followed and refers mainly to the situation where a public authority has overstepped its powers. Instruments will be held to be ultra vires if a mandatory procedural requirement has not been followed but will not be the procedure if the procedure is only directory. Under Indian Constitution, Article Dash authorized to constitute administrative tribunals. Administrative tribunal related हमेशा questions आते हैं. Correct answer over here is C. Article 323A deals with this establishment. Article Dash of the Constitution confers on every High Court power of superintendence over all the subordinate courts and inferior tribunals in the state. 32, 226, 199, 227, 229. Very easy it is. Superintendence power of the High Court is incorporated under Article 227 and that includes superintendence of the tribunals as well. Institution of Ombudsman is originated in Dash in 1809. बहुत ही कॉमन क्वेश्चन है. ओम्बड्समैन ये कॉन्सेप्ट कहाँ से डेवलप हुआ है? व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ द टर्म ओम्बड्समैन? इट इज कम फ्रॉम स्वीडन and it is actually, the meaning is it's a watchdog basically. Find the correct answer. Principles of natural justice are: no person can be judged in his own cause, no person shall be condemned unheard. Only one is correct, only two is correct, 1 and 2 both are correct, 1 is correct, 2 is incorrect, both are incorrect. C, 1 and 2 both are correct, both of them are principles of natural justice. Remember, there is one more principle of natural justice relating to speaking orders, reasoned decisions. Administrative tribunals exercise purely administrative functions, purely judicial functions, purely legislative functions, quasi-judicial functions, B and D, that is purely judicial and quasi-judicial functions. So administrative tribunals are going to exercise D, quasi-judicial functions. Term tribunal is used in a significant sense and refers to only the adjudicatory bodies which lie outside the sphere of ordinary judicial system. Dash is known as father of jurisprudence. Austin, Bentham, Gray, Holland, Pound. Roscoe Pound basically. Very easy. Bentham is the father of jurisprudence. Austin took his work further. Austin was the disciple of Bentham. He was a student. But Austin has done a commendable work. His theory has developed a lot. Analytical school. Both of them belong to analytical school. Dash defined jurisprudence as the philosophy of positive law. Salmond, Austin, Holland, Alpian, Cicero. B, Austin. Austin has defined the philosophy of jurisprudence as of positive law. Positive law पे ज़्यादा emphasis Austin ने दिया था. Theory of jural relations was propounded by Bentham, Hoffield, Austin, Gray, none of the above. This is also very important one. Hoffield's theory of jural relations. Correlatives and opposites both. I would suggest all of you to learn these. Jurisprudence में से questions थोड़े कम आते हैं, but जो आते हैं वो इन्हीं topics में से आ सकते हैं जो ज़्यादा important है. I would suggest all of you to study them. Right and rem means a claim brought against a specific person, means an action brought to recover a specific property, an action brought to recover damages, both A and B, none of the above. It means an action brought to recover a specific property. Reason means an action brought to recover a specific property through a lawsuit or a legal action. right available to him or her against the entire world. That is what is right in rem. Which of the following is the cardinal rule of construction of statutes? Harmonious rule of construction, beneficial rule of construction, reasonable rule of construction, literal rule of construction, none of the above. So which of the following is the cardinal rule of construction of statutes? Correct answer is literal rule of construction. According to this rule, statutes are to be interpreted using the ordinary or natural meaning of the language or text of the statute, unless statute is explicitly defining some of its terms otherwise. So this rule is basically concerned with what law says and not what the law means. For which rules of interpretation meaning of the word should be known from its accompanying or associating words? Mischief rule, golden rule, noceresources, primary rule, none of the above. It's very easy, I think very commonly known by everyone. Noceresources, that is actually a principle of interpretation which helps us in associating the words and associating the accompanying words and giving meaning to the terms. Ejusdem generis is applicable when specific word follows general words follow specific words, either A or B, both A and B, none of the above. Ejusdem generis भी important area है. Ejusdem generis, noceresources, very famous and important principles these are. Correct answer is B, general word follows specific words. It means that where a statute describes things of a particular class or kind accompanied by words of a generic character, the generic words will usually be limited to things of a kind and nature with those particularly enumerated, unless there is something in the context of the statute to repel such an inference. So ejusdem generis is applicable when a particular class or kind is accompanied by words of generic character. So we can give meaning according to the particularly enumerated kind of words. So correct answer is general words are going to follow the specific words. क्योंकि जनरल मीनिंग में एम्बिग्विटी आ जाती है कहीं ना कहीं, तो जो स्पेसिफिक वर्ड्स उसके आजू बाजू है आपको उन वर्ड्स के हिसाब से जनरल वर्ड्स को मीनिंग देना होता है. What is the mischief rule? In interpreting statutes, judges look at the mischief which the act was passed to prevent. There must not be any mischief in court. In interpreting statutes, judges should interpret the words literally. In interpreting statutes, judges should interpret the words as they see fit. None of the above. Correct answer is A. Mischief rule is by looking at what was the mischief and why was the act passed to solve that particular mischief. यही होता है mischief rule. Last question for today. Internal aid in the interpretation of statute includes internal aids, external aids. I would suggest all of you to study well. Title, preamble, marginal notes, all of the above, none of the above. इनमें से ये जो सारे हैं ये सारे के सारे internal aids हैं. External aids, internal aids, I would suggest do it well. It's an important topic. यहाँ से MCQs expect कर सकते हैं हम. Internal aids means those materials which are available in the statute itself. Prepare 50% faster with us at iExamB. If you have any queries, reach out to us by any of the following methods. Download our app from Google Play Store and check out the full course access available. Thank you everybody. Have a nice day.